if someone in your life is autistic and experiences shutdowns and you really struggle to deal with it, I want to offer a little bit of advice. And before I start, I just want to sort of caveat this with, I think shutdowns, yes, okay, they are, every autistic person has them, but it can be quite unique. So some of these things may or may not apply. So really, the person that you're dealing with, if they can express what it is they need, that is obviously going to be the best thing. But I think in a lot of cases, they won't actually understand what they need. They will have no idea unless they go to therapy or educate themselves or something. But also there's the communication as well. So the communication is just really, really difficult. And it takes a lot of time and it's really hard, and especially if someone is young or maybe going through diagnosis and doesn't fully understand it can be really difficult. So that's the first thing. The other thing I want to say as well is that whatever your experience in dealing with them is absolutely valid as well. So you're probably feeling frustrated, maybe upset at times, and that is absolutely valid as well. It's completely normal to feel that. So I do just want to say that. So some of the things, so I think I'm just going to split this into things that you can do and things that you probably shouldn't do. So first of all, things that you should do, I would say understand exactly what a shutdown is. This is a really big thing, and even for me, when I learned what a shutdown was, it really helped me forgive myself for having them. So I think this is really, really powerful, just understanding what's going on, and it takes a lot of the blame off of them, because it isn't a case of them not having the will or just choosing not to, that they don't want to talk to you anymore or anything like that. It's got nothing to do with that. It's actually a physiological safety protocol, basically. So it's essentially the same as like a fight or flight mode. So the amygdala in your brain, which is the kind of safety response, which is sensing danger, that will cut off when an autistic person gets so overwhelmed by either emotion or stimulation. The amygdala will just cut off communication to the prefrontal cortex, which is just the part of the brain that does all the thinking, and it's responsible for speech, logic, all of that. This is why when a shutdown happens, you can't talk, you can't think properly, you can't retain information, you feel a little bit stupid, right? So really understand that and try to have compassion for that it isn't, it's not a choice. It really isn't a choice. So that's the first thing. The second thing, give space. I mean, this is obvious, right? You probably hear this all the time. But give them space and stop focusing on them. So, you don't have to, you don't have to constantly be checking if they're okay or anything like that. So just have this kind of parallel presence where you're there, let them know that you're there, but without making them the center of attention. So yeah, just give them a nice bit of space. Don't ask vague questions. So, don't say, oh, how are you feeling, or anything like that. They're not going to be able to answer that. They're not going to be able to cognitively process and understand the question, the answer, and then communicate it. So if you do need to ask them anything, just make it a yes or no, really simple yes or no. And texting is a good way to do it. You can text them from another room or something like that. And if they don't respond, that's okay. That's okay, right? You're asking questions because you're trying to be helpful, not because you need an answer right there and then. So throughout all of this, giving them that space and sort of letting them know you're around, reassure them as well that they have time. So they don't have to, they don't have to come out of the shutdown now or in half an hour or anything like that. So just reassure them, just take space, take time. You know, I'll be here whenever you're ready to come and talk to me. Now that in itself is difficult anyway, because if you sort of lay this presence on them that and put the responsibility onto them. So you know, if you say when you finish shutting down, you need to come and talk to me, that's a no-go, right? Because they're just going to panic, and they're not ever going to want to come and talk to you if you tell them that they need to. But if it's more of a, look, I'm here, you know, just come and give me a hug, and we don't have to speak if you don't want to speak, you know, I just want you to know that I'm here, and you know, you can just come and see me whenever you're ready. That's very different. There's no pressure on that. So, and this is what it's all about. It's about not putting any pressure on them. So moving on to some of the things that are not so good. Don't demand anything from them. So similar thing to putting pressure on them. Just don't give them any sense that you're expecting something from them, because that will make everything worse. So if a big one for me, right, is being forced to speak or being forced to make eye contact. And this is something that used to happen with my partner. She would get very, very frustrated. And before I knew I was autistic, and before she understood what a shutdown was, we would have arguments, and I would shut down, and she would get so angry because I would stop looking at her, and she would force me to make eye contact with her, and it just, all it's going to do is just shove them deeper and deeper into a hole, and the deeper they go into that hole, the longer it's going to take for them to get out, and the recovery process is painful anyway. So try not to demand anything from them or force them to do anything. You know, don't force them to answer a question, because what will happen is they will have they'll feel very depressed. There'll be a massive amount of self-loathing, and if you start demanding things that they cannot give you, all it's going to do is just make them hate themselves more and more and more, and all that's going to do is just drive them further and further down into this dark hole. And it's just going to get harder and harder for them to come out of that. So don't demand anything from them, and then stop asking if they're okay as well. That's another thing. They're not okay. You know they're not okay. They know they're not okay. What they don't need is to be asked a question like that. They just need to be left alone, right? And they need time. They just need time. Yeah, let it be, and don't try to fix anything. So again, this is similar to giving space, but you know, don't try to assume or don't try to guess what they need. Don't try to sort of come over to them and, you know, ask them questions. Do you want this? Do you need this? Is this going to make you feel better? They don't need anything. They literally do not need anything. They're kind of dormant at that point. So just don't try to fix anything. What they need is space and time and reassurance that everything's going to be all right. Yeah, and then lastly, don't take it personally as well. So if they stop talking to you, they don't want to look at you, the communication's broken, don't take it personally. It's not, you're all right, Murph. Okay. This is Murphy. He's a freak. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing to do with you. You need to understand that. You need to understand what a shutdown is, and the fact that it's got nothing to do with you. It's their brain, and their entire system being overwhelmed and protecting itself. So, and throughout all of this, be mindful that what you don't want to do is make them feel bad. The more you make them feel bad, I think I've kind of already said this about, demanding anything from them. But if you make them feel bad, it's just going to make it a lot worse. So, just try to be neutral. Don't try to sort of give them too much attention or fuss or fix anything or any of that. Just be really neutral and just reassure them, because they are gonna come out of a shutdown eventually, but they'll be really anxious to reconnect again. For me, this is really bad. Like I can have a shutdown, and then I can go to work the next day and be absolutely normal, and then I can come home to my girlfriend who I've had an argument with, who is not mad at me, and I can be filled with anxiety because it's like the elephant in the room and the reconnection. So be mindful that they're probably going to be really, really anxious when they're coming out of the shutdown. So reassure them during the shutdown, you know, just reassure them that everything's fine. So I'm not angry with you. You haven't done anything wrong. You know, take all the space you need. So yeah, I think I kind of sped through that, but that's, yeah, in my experience, those are the sort of do's and don'ts that really make a difference. And I appreciate as well, it's very difficult for the other person, because all of this is sort of like well, here's a rule book to deal with my shutdown. And the person who's shutting down, the autistic person, you know, just gets to, you know, have the shutdown, and it all happens on their terms and blah, blah, blah. And that was something that my girlfriend really, really struggled with. And that is it's absolutely okay. It's okay to experience that, and it's okay. You know, I want to validate that. I really want to validate that, and hopefully you're willing to just accept that, you know, it is what it is, because, you know, you're there to support this person, right? So if you know, if you wasn't going to support them, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. So hopefully you're willing to take this on board and understand it and make those changes. However, the frustration that you feel is valid, and the person who's autistic as well should really be making an effort to understand it themselves. You know, I mean, if they're a teenager or you know, I think it's probably quite different. But when you sort of get into adulthood and you build that sort of emotional intelligence a little bit more, it is your responsibility to be working on that and learn about what it is, what a shutdown is to you, and what it does to you, and how you respond, and what the recovery is like, and what makes it worse, and what you need. It's, as an autistic person, it is your responsibility to learn those things through therapy or talking to your partner, your family, your friends, whoever's around you, yeah, just kind of work on it as a two-way street. So I just want to recognize that. I don't want to sort of come across as, oh, you know, this is what happens when an autistic person shuts down, and you need to do all these things so they can have a great time. Yeah, anyway, I hope that come across okay. I'm going to end it here because the sun is starting to blind me. Thank you for watching. If you want me to talk about any of these things a little bit more, please let me know. More than happy. And yeah, great, thanks.